Well, good morning, folks. This is Bradford from Beacon here, and a topic that I wanted to talk about with you today. It's something that relates to really everybody, whether you own your own business or not, has to do with budgeting. Now, a challenge that we always hear about with budgeting, especially there are very respectful folks in the field that talk about this stuff. Dave Ramsey comes to mind as one. But if I take on a business owner, or really anybody for that matter, who is really, really tight on cash, it's very, very hard to do good tax planning and tax strategy with. So the budget will actually empower you or anybody that I work with, or anybody in life really, to be able to take positions, whether it's from tax or maybe just maximizing your own quality of life. But the problem is, budgeting is not fun. It's not sexy. There's nothing good really about it. And I think something that we often do is try to come up with super complicated systems. Now, for you engineers, doctors, you might like that. That might actually that rigorous structure might be enjoyable for you. But something, even if that is your modus operandi, it still starts with habits and building up to the complexity. Let the complexity build over time. So whether this is the first time that you're thinking about budgeting or whether you've tried it before in the past, I do want to talk about a very simple system that you can do. And basically, it all comes down to using I'm using credit cards in this example. You could also use bank accounts. You could use Bank One and Bank Two. It doesn't really necessarily matter. You could also use the envelope system if you really want, if you are a cash person. Some of these expenses will be difficult to do that, but I think you can follow along for example's sake. Now, there are some expenses that you have each month that are relatively stable, such as your rent. Maybe it's your mortgage. Your utilities are roughly the same. They'll change a little bit, but your subscriptions, cell phone bills, things like that are recurring, whether it's each month or each year. Vacation, if you plan a vacation, it's roughly the same amount. You know how much it's going to be. You could also lump that into here. On the other credit card, you have your more variable expenses, the things that fluctuate. You put your gas, groceries, eating out, entertainment, any of these things that just are not recurring, and the amounts vary from day to day, month to month, week to week, year to year. Now, the secret with this one you pay off once a month, at least. Because if you don't pay it off, you're going to go behind your credit card bill. It's just not, you're going to be in arrears, which tends to not be good for your credit and, of course, for your personal balance sheet. And you can set this. It doesn't necessarily matter. It could be, your system could be like the first Monday, the last Friday, the 1st, the 30th, the last day. A system that works for you. Mine tends to be the last Friday because I use Fridays as my impetus for the second one, where you pay off once a week. Now, why do we pay this one off once a week? And there's nothing more that I am personally requiring of you, or that you're required to do. But you pay it off once a week because if you pay this one once a month, there's not enough feedback. That's not going to mean anything to you. It's going to be literally 30 days at least between, or 28 days, I guess, for February, but it's going to be, too long of a time for us to really reflect. But if you pay it off week to week, we tend to remember how much we spent. All right, we spent $400, $500 last week. This week it's $800. Maybe I should look into my statement and see where those expenses went, and you have the freedom to do so. Or maybe you know exactly why the variances are what they are. So, very, very easy. I hope this works out. Try it on your own and let me know how it goes. Until next time.